All right, let's talk about something you've probably seen a million times, but maybe never really dug into: ISO 9001. It's the world's go-to standard for quality, and today we're going to break down what it actually is. So think about your favorite brands, the ones you just trust. How do they do it? How do they deliver a fantastic product or a great service, not just once, but over and over again? Well, I can tell you it's not magic. It's all about having a system. And that brings us to this quest for quality. See, the secret to being consistently great isn't just about hiring smart people and hoping for the best. It's about building a solid framework that everyone in the organization can see, understand, and follow. And the heart of that framework is something called a quality management system, or a QMS. Now, the absolute best way to think about a QMS is like a recipe book for your business. It lays out all the steps, all the ingredients, the policies and procedures you need to make sure that what you're delivering is top-notch and keeps your customers happy every single time. So if the QMS is your company's unique recipe book, then ISO 9001, well, that's the international standard on how to write a good one. It's the blueprint that's recognized all over the world for building a quality system that actually works. And the whole thing boils down to this surprisingly simple four-part philosophy. First, you figure out your best way of doing things and you write it down. That's say what you do. Then you actually follow your own rules. That's do what you say. Then you focus on nailing it every time. Do it well. And finally, you check your work and find ways to get even better. Provide evidence. It's a loop, a cycle of constant improvement. Now, here's something really important to get. ISO 9001 doesn't care if you're making pizza or building spaceships. It doesn't tell you how to do your job. Instead, it just gives you this flexible blueprint that's built on something called a process-oriented approach. So what on earth is a process approach? Well, it just means you stop thinking of your business as a bunch of separate boxes. Sales over here, shipping over there. Instead, you see it as a web of interconnected steps. When you start managing how all those little activities link up, you can get to where you want to go so much more efficiently. And every single one of those processes, no matter how big or small, works like this. You've got your inputs. That could be materials, information, a customer request. Then there's the transformation. That's the actual work you do. And that creates an output. But here's the kicker. The output from one step is almost always the input for the very next step. It creates this powerful chain reaction of quality through your whole business. Okay, so let's crack this thing open and peek inside the standard itself. The real meat of it, the stuff you actually have to do to get certified, is broken down into 4 key sections. Let's do a quick tour. Everything, and I mean everything, starts at the top. Section 5 is all about management responsibility. This is so critical. It means leadership can't just talk about quality, they have to live it. They're the ones who set the goals, provide the resources, and make sure the whole system is driven from the top down. Next up, Section 6, Resource Management. You can have the best intentions in the world, but you still need the right tools for the job, right? This part covers everything you need to make quality happen: your people, your buildings, your tools, your information. It's about creating an environment where people can actually do great work. Now we get to Section 7, Product Realization. This is really the heart of the whole operation. It covers the entire journey of whatever it is you create, from that first spark of an idea or a customer order, all the way through design, building it, and getting it out the door. It's how you make your thing. And finally, Section 8 closes the loop. How do you know if any of this is actually working? Well, you measure it. This section is all about checking your performance, doing audits, looking at the data, and using what you find to fix what's broken and, more importantly, to always be getting better. So we've talked about the big ideas and the structure. But what does this look like in the real world? On a practical level, what's the actual, proof? What's the paper trail you need to show you're doing all this? This is the question everybody wants to know. After all this talk about systems and processes and policies, what do I really have to write down? And the answer might actually surprise you. You might be imagining a mountain of binders, but believe it or not, the standard really only requires 5 core types of documents. That's it, just 5. And here they are. You need a quality manual. That's your high-level guide. A quality policy, your big public promise. Quality objectives, your specific, measurable goals. Your quality procedures, the nitty-gritty, step-by-step instructions. And finally, the forms and records. That's the proof that you're actually doing what you said you'd do. Here's a great real-world example of a quality policy. See how it's not some crazy legal document? It's just a clear, simple promise. It says they're committed to their customers and to getting better all the time. This is the kind of statement that acts as the North Star for the whole system. So, to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. When you look at the way you and your team work, is it a system, a deliberate, documented process designed to get better? Or is it really just a habit? ISO 9001 is all about making that leap from just doing things the way they've always been done to building a true system for excellence.